The movie begins with a cargo ship being raided by criminals during a storm. Arthur Curry, or Aquaman, comes from the ocean on his massive seahorse Storm. He then proceeds to clean the floor with the criminals, while we hear his voice detailing his life over the last 5 years. After beating his brother Orm, or Ocean Master, Arthur is now king of Atlantis, a job he dislikes. He has also married Mara, and they have a son named Arthur Jr. Arthur's parents, Thomas and Atlanna, also help raise Jr. while Arthur attends to his duties as king and Aquaman. Jr. also appears to have inherited Arthur's capacity to converse with underwater species. David Kane, also known as Black Manta, is leading an expedition somewhere in the Arctic as part of his revenge plan against Aquaman. To find Atlantis, he has teamed up with Dr. Stephen Shin, a marine biologist. Shin and another crew member fall into a frozen chasm. A long dormant beast in the ice spits out its tentacles and drags the crew member to his death. Later, David and his men find Shin and discover more creatures that are trapped in ice. David discovers the Black Trident after submerging himself. When he joins the two parts, he sees a vision of the scary King Kordak screaming out to David and promising to aid him in killing his enemy in exchange for David freeing him. After 5 months, the global temperature starts to rise extremely fast. Mara calls Arthur to the Council of Atlantis, led by Karshan, to discuss the situation. Arthur believes it is time for Atlantis to be revealed to the outside world, but everyone quickly disagrees. Arthur goes to drink a beer with his father and discuss how difficult his duties as king are when the others disagree with him. In the Atlantic, David is looking for orichalcum, a fuel source found in Atlantis that can power Shin-made machines. David launches a strike against Atlantis after discovering the orichalcum reserves. Black Manta uses his laser helmet to incapacitate Mara as Atlanna and Mara enter the battle to defend the realm. Aquaman shows up for a battle before he can kill her. Manta has increased strength and power even without his suit due to his use of the Black Trident. While pursuing him, David activates a gadget aboard his ship to send out a sonic pulse that knocks Arthur out. Following the attack on Atlantis, Mara is taken to the hospital while Karshan attempts to pin the blame for the attack on Arthur. Arthur talks about how to handle Black Manta's menace with King Nereus and Atlanna. They conclude that David is responsible for the global temperature surge using orichalcum. Arthur says that he needs Orm's assistance to find Manta, even if Atlanna and Nereus believe that trying to get him out of jail would be a bad idea. This time, Arthur thinks he can trust his brother. Arthur enters the Fisherman Kingdom prison wearing a stealth suit and along with Topo, a fish known for its camouflage abilities. Orm has been deprived of much of his water, leaving him malnourished and weak. Arthur reaches his brother and fights the brutal guards before releasing Orm, who is not pleased to see Arthur. The two seize command of two massive monsters that transport them back to the surface. More soldiers pursue the brothers, but Orm gets to reach the beach and restore his power, allowing him to defeat the guards. Arthur and Orm then flee into the sea before reinforcement arrives. The brothers head to the sunken citadel, an underwater pirate haven. They approach a crime lord named Kingfish for advice on where to find David. When Kingfish refuses to assist, Arthur and Orm fight his thugs before Arthur places a helmet on Kingfish's head to drain the water until he says that he has heard reports of Manta sheltering in a dormant volcano known as Devil's Deep. After gathering enough information, Arthur breaks the helmet and departs with Orm. Shin notices David talking to Kordax in the mirror, but the evil king's image vanishes before Shin can see him. Shin touches the Black Trident and sees Kordax's visions when David exits the room. Shin is threatened by David if he keeps looking into his personal life. Arthur and Orm arrive at Devil's Deep, which is located on an island encircled by a huge jungle. They flee from a gang of enormous insects after realizing that a large portion of the plant and animal life has changed. Arthur body slams a statue, creating a bridge for him and Orm to travel over, and they push the statue over the ledge, killing the insects. Arthur and Orm continue to argue on the way to their target, but ultimately reach Manta's base and knock out some of his troops. After realizing how dangerous and deranged David truly is, Shin finds them and requests to join. Shin becomes unconscious when Stingray, David's right-hand lady, bursts through the door before he can explain what is happening. As the villains close in on the brothers, Stingray commands a massive robot equipped with tentacles to pursue them. Arthur and Orm collaborate to take down the robot, before Manta shows up to challenge them. They battle him, but before he can murder Orm, Nereus's Atlantean warriors launch an assault and demolish the base. Manta uses the sonic pulse on Arthur once more before he and his henchmen flee, but Mara saves him. After everyone has recovered, Orm begins to tell Arthur everything he knows about the Black Trident, having temporarily obtained it during his battle with Manta. Necris, the Lost Kingdom, was founded by Kordax, the brother of King Atlan, who built the Black Trident in an effort to take over Atlantis. Kordax and his subjects became monsters as a result of it corrupting him. Manta can choose between Arthur, Orm, Atlanna, or Arthur Jr. in order to use blood from a direct descendant of Atlan to release Kordax. As expected, Manta shows up at Amnesty Bay. He attacks Thomas in his own house, kidnaps Jr., and then sets the house on fire. Following his father's rescue, Arthur leaves him in the care of Atlanna. Shin communicates with the Atlanteans to let them know that he has discovered that David has taken Jr. hostage. Going in search of Manta, Arthur teams up with Mera, Orm, Nereus, and the Brine King. Necris prepares to lead Jr. to the throne of Kordax after David and Stingray find him. Arthur calls on the underwater creatures to help him. Stingray and other goons are killed in an explosion that occurs when the sea animals overwhelm the villain's base's frequencies. While he is taking Jr. to safety, Shin hands Manta a bag containing a bomb just before he is about to use Jr.'s blood. Arthur, together with Orm, confront Manta after he has dispatched other goons. However, Manta hits Arthur with such force that it stirs up Kordax. Orm gets the Black Trident and starts to feel Kordax's influence. The evil king tries to turn the two brothers against one another, but Arthur convinces Orm of his better nature, and together they defeat the possession. Arthur throws the Black Trident in Kordax's direction, but Kordax catches it. When Arthur throws his own trident at the Black Trident, it breaks and destroys Kordax. Shin then tosses Arthur his own trident. With his death, Necris starts collapse. David begins to fall over a chasm, and Arthur attempts to help him, but he harshly sneers never, and falls to his death. Everyone else goes out. After they make their getaway, Arthur and Mera praise Shin for saving Jr., and everyone agrees to let Orm off the hook by making it seem like he died in the collapse. Orm says goodbye to his mother and brother and swims away. Arthur goes back to Atlantis and fulfills his promise to the outside world to unveil the kingdom. In an effort to bring land and water together, Arthur addresses the United Nations as Atlantis emerges from the ocean in front of everyone on Earth. Finally, he brags that he is the king of Atlantis and, Aquaman,